Welcome to One on One on God 101. Our guest today is a legend. She was on Survivor 1, Survivor 8, and came back for Survivor 50. Jenna, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for saying yes. Okay, being
Always. I
being
say yes
that
to
this show,
everything.
that's a good attitude to have.
Yes.
Being that this show is called God 101, we always start with the same first question, which is, did you grow up with God in your life?
I did. So my parents are Mormon, pretty strict Mormon, actually, when I was growing up in Maine and New Hampshire. And everyone thinks of Mormons as Utah. So if you're in a small state like Maine or New Hampshire in a very small city, you are held to a very strict standard because you're like the only one in the region that's representing the Mormon church. So I did grow up Mormon. I pulled away from the religion a lot because as I got older and I started to look into the doctrines of it, a lot of it did not speak to me. So I gear more now, very much more now, towards spirituality. And the word God, I think, just still has so many connotations to it that I consider very oppressive from religion. But I love the spirit of love, and that's what I consider my God.
Okay. Um, can we talk about Survivor now?
Yeah, of course.
When you were cast season 1, you had infants at home. You probably had
Mhm.
no idea what you were getting yourself into because who really did? Um, but you made it to the jury. You were the first member of the jury. So
Mhm.
you had those survivor's instinct. How was that experience for you?
The very first Survivor is so different because I've come back, two other times, and the wait from the last time I did it to now is like 22 years. So, but when we first did it, we really had no blueprints. No reality TV had aired like this ever. They had had, I think, Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire or something, but it was like very in studio, nothing like, hey, just go out and live on this island and, backstab each other. People kind of thought of it as Lord of the Flies. Uh,
Yes.
wh- it kind of is, I think, a little bit more now than it was then. Um, but no, we hadn't seen it done, so we really had no clue what we were getting into, and it exploded after. So that was like mammoth trying to deal with all of that aftermath.
The fame alone.
Yes.
What was that like?
It's very difficult to explain, and I know it sounds silly, but it was like being a beetle for when we ate those bugs. When we ate those bugs, the whole world like stopped. I would go out. I had moved and was living in San Francisco with my brother, and like I would have people stopping their cars in the middle of the streets in San Francisco to like run to me. It was insane. And then the celebrities, when you got to these celebrity events, the celebrities were more impressed with us. They all wanted to talk to us about the show and oh my gosh, how was it? So it was unbelievable. Like on the cover of every magazine, doing every single show, every single talk show, every single interview. It was like nothing that these new pups would ever dream of happening.
And then you did it again, season 8, All Stars. How drastically did it change as a game? And you walking in knowing what you're in for from the first season to the eighth season.
That's a good question. I don't think it had changed that much the first through the eighth, but the big difference was I came back on the very first time they had returnee seasons. So I was on the very first season, and then I was on the very first time they had returnee seasons. And returnee seasons have so many elevated emotions because you know the people. And especially since it had only been, I think, 3.5, 4 years between Survivor 1 and Survivor 8 filming, we had been to all of the same events, all of the same celebrity events. Everybody knew each other and were actually friends. So when you have to go out there with friends and people that you like and you spend time with, when you have to backstab them or vote them off, it's not just a game. It's extremely personal. So that's how it changes. And I think you're seeing that play out too in Survivor 50.
Well, okay, for you, you mentioned it had been 22 years between season 8 and season 50. Did you know everyone who was a survivor this season with you, or at least know of their gameplay?
Yeah, I mean, I rewatched a lot of the episodes when I was in the running. Um, but I didn't know. I think the only person I had met was Colby because we did All Stars together. But even then, we never actually got to play on the same island.
Mm. Okay, so as a game itself, do you feel it has gotten harder then, this current season? How was that?
I don't think it's gotten harder. No, I think it's gotten much easier in the aspect of when they changed locations and we did like Borneo and Panama, there was that element of physicality that really broke people down, and you could rely on that as a person that could get by or get your mind over the physical elements easier, which was none of that bothered me. I loved it. I wanted to eat bugs. I could sleep in the sand. Snakes were all over us, rats. It didn't bother me. I could rely on that to break down other people and bring them down lower. And out there on Fiji, there's just nothing that can hurt you. I mean, it truly is a resort island. So no,
So it was like Club Med.
it's like Biggest Loser on an island. Like that's voting each other off. They just lose weight. There's nothing else to it.
In your words, why were you the first person voted off on season 50?
In my own words versus the words that they put on the show, I was voted off because I had no prior relationships or connections. These people had all, I mean, Christian and Emily had literally defined their relationship as good friends prior to the show. Very difficult to broach. And same with Ozzy and Sari, who have played together twice. Devins had hosted all of these Survivor things, even taking Jeff's spot for a couple things. So they all knew each other. They had been to all of these events together, and I didn't. I didn't know anyone. And that I could have gotten my legs under me if it had been day 9 or something. There's still survivors that are on the show right now that have not gone to tribal council. Like, what a gift. And that is where a lot of luck comes in on Survivor. But I think it did bite me that I did not know anyone. It was very easy to pick Savannah or I off on that
Mm.
first one, and obviously she went off number 2. But I think it was very easy to target us. And they would never target Joe because in the beginning you need all of that strength. But they wouldn't target Sari either, even though she absolutely is the only reason that you lost the immunity challenges for the first 3. The only reason. So
Do you think it was unwise of them to vote you off because it was the safe thing to do and because you didn't have those connections instead of voting out a threat? I mean, I guess you need someone like you said, Joe, for for strength for the team, for the tribe
right.
to a certain degree. Was it not a smart move? Was it the easy way out?
Yes, it was an easy way out. And like I said, you have to find a reason. You've only known each other 2 days at that point. Um, and I think in the next episode or when they get back, I think it's actually in the first one, they're all sitting around and they're like, I think we just made a big mistake. Like they were like, we shouldn't have done that. Definitely shouldn't have been Jenna. And then they go and they lose the next immunity challenge and they're like, yeah, we definitely should not have voted out Jenna. Like Cerie's the obvious choice in every instance. She's a very strategic player. She's an absolute threat. And while you are still together and you have to win challenges, you do not want Cerie on your tribe.
Do you think anyone else is seeing things that way?
I think yes. I think Joe and Savannah and I saw it that way, and Emily when we were all in the same tribe. So yeah, there was 4 of us at least. I think the others. I think when you have those connections, and there was a lot of pre gaming. So when you have those connections and you guys have all talked and you have agreements in place, there's no way that I can get in on that. Like, especially if you're the first vote, you're just looking for an outlier, and I was an outlier. All of these people had chatted. So, yeah, they should have seen it that way because you don't want to go to tribal because can be collateral damage. You see how quickly things change in this game. So, you definitely don't want to go to tribal. And if there's one person that's causing you to go to tribal, probably should eliminate that person.
Why did you say yes, season 1, when you had just had twin infants and
Yeah.
you don't know what you're signing up for?
Just like when you asked, thanks for being on here. Thanks for saying yes. I say yes to just about everything that is an adventure. I had really never even left my small town in Franklin, New Hampshire before doing Survivor. So, especially when you get an opportunity to go do something like this as your first big bout out, absolutely. Plus, I thought it was a very good opportunity for me to represent young single moms because they, especially 25 years ago, they were never represented. And if they were represented, they were victims and they were sad and dowdy. And I was like, this is not how I'm living my life with my twins. So I thought I really wanted to be a better representation for that.
You have 4 kids now. What do they say about how you did on the show? Any of the
My
seasons?
They don't care. My younger kids, I call them my second batch. My second batch doesn't care at all. My older girls, they remember a lot of the fanfare. They remember going to the reunion shows and all that and how big it was. So they have a little bit of vested interest, but my entire family, nobody cares. Absolutely no one. I talked to other survivors and their wives and everybody were putting together sheets of who they could work with and helping them. Mm-mm. My family does not care. They don't care that I was on it. Anything that I'm doing now that's fanfare, they're like, nah, whatever.
After so many years, why'd you say yes to season 50?
Um, Again, I think that
Saying
you
yes.
always say yes to an
Okay.
adventure. Plus, just the honor of being asked. When they tell you that it's a celebration of the show and you were on the very first show, I think you really want to be there to see what this celebration is. And I really did. I knew it would be an epic party. Uh, so when Jeff asked, I think he asked me first. I still think I have the video where he was like, and I'm asking you first. And I was like, to be asked is an honor, and I don't think you could ever turn that down.
So you would do it again then.
Absolutely.
So that means if I ask you to do Big Brother, you'll do Big Brother?
Yeah. There's yeses. I told you I say yes to anything.
I love it. And fast forward, you're a very successful realtor. I guess saying yes and keeping those opportunities coming and opening the door has definitely served you well.
Yes. And I think all of the negotiating that you do on those islands definitely serves you well in my career,
So
navigating all of the clients.
what is next for you? Is there anything you want to plug, or is it raising your family and running your business?
Just running my business. I don't have any aspirations to do anything else. Like I said, if something came up, I'd probably say yes. But absolutely, first and foremost, is raising my family. It goes by so fast, and my son and daughter are now 14 and a half and 13, and they're going to be out of my house in like 4 years. So I really want to buckle down and spend a lot of time with them.
OG Survivor Jenna, season 1, 8, and 50. Thank you. Thank you for saying yes.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
God bless you. Godspeed.
Thank you. Bless you.